All right, everybody. Hope you're excited. And I was just kind of breaking down the situation for these players. So for Hera, he comes in here to display all three, and there's no real danger for him to potentially drop out, right? If he's in first place in the group, then he gets a bye and moves directly to a quarterfinal. If he's in second or third, then he will have to play in the round of 12. But most likely, Hera's top three moves on out of the group stage, and we'll see more of him. He's playing as the Chinese, by the way, a civ you don't traditionally see on this map. But Bruh, on the other hand, he's currently tied for dead last. And not only is he tied for dead last, but the person that he is going to face up against in his final round is going to be the person he is tied with. Very well could be a situation where those two players are fighting to see who's promoted and who is not. We'll see. We have Bruh with the Lithuanians, though. He's going to wood nice and early so he can get the dock up. I do really like his civilization. Now, here's something that's crazy about Bruh. So, Bruh got his wins against Yo. He got his 2 wins against Yo. It was the opening round of TTL. Since then, he has been 3-0'd by everyone he has faced. And the only one he has not faced yet beyond Hera is Dragonstar. So, for Bruh, I think Hera, like he's gone for a civilization, which just doesn't necessarily suit this type of map. I don't think Chinese are bad, but it is tougher for Chinese to get an early dock down. So, they're normally seen on maps that don't incorporate water. Maybe he'll see an opportunity here, and he has to have the outlook that I just mentioned. Again, prove that you deserve to stay alive. Getting a win here and then maybe 1 or 2 wins for Dragonstar could be great because it's essentially a fight between himself, Dragonstar, and then Barles. Because there will be 2 people who get relegated. Map-wise, everything looks pretty easy to wall up, I've noticed. Easy wall off here for Hera. He's no stranger to that. I have yet to see Chinese played on this map. I don't think Chinese are horrible for the map. It's a bit like the Hindustani pick, I guess. We've seen Hindustanis selected on this map. And I always explain how they're not necessarily suited for hybrid maps. My prediction here will be 3-0 for Hera, though. That's where I sit right now. I have seen Hera play quite clean, quite crisp. Only game he's lost has been up against Velez. And actually, is this Hera's final round? Let's see. He played Yo. It's hard when we have so many rounds to get it all in order. He's played Yo. He 3-0'd Yo. He 2-1'd Velez. Actually, no. Hera will have to play Barles. Yeah, this is round 4 for both players, which means we're on schedule. This is precisely where we wanted everything to be. There are some exceptions here or there. If there's 3 players fighting to stay in Platinum, they could do a 3-player free-for-all. No. We're not going to do that. And Bruh's scout got hit by Hera. He's obviously looking for Hera's base. He's also trying to stop Hera from pushing in the deer, and the deer's cooperating for Hera here. All right. So the deer's going to get pushed in here. Good job from Hera. Bruh won't run into the TC fire. And again, you see that little lead for Bruh because he got the early dock down. But Hera's going to catch up in that regard. Again, has more villagers with his civ. I would expect things like man-at-arms, anything that costs a lot of early food and feudal to be difficult for Hera. Again, that's mainly a Chinese problem. The Chinese are always playing catch-up with the food. Lithuanians, that's the opposite, because they have so much food at the start. And Bruh's scouting. And he's probably, he needs to check the shoreline to see if Hera is docked. Not doing so right now. Hera brings in his boar, and we're going to see Bruh click up to the next stage. Now, if he scouted this, guys, it feels like a good strat here would be able to send a villager and just get a dock down on Hera's pond. I'm surprised we're not seeing that more. Some players are doing that all the time, in Gold League, for example. Seems like he's on the fence about it. He hasn't sent any villagers to gold yet. Looks like he's sending more to wood, which is an indicator to me that we're going to see a barracks dropped and he wants to go for a scout build. Thank you, Zen. I appreciate it. Zenith, the real issue with scheduling and trying to be super rigid is this whole thing is meant to be good for the players. I understand events are good for viewers. I produce a lot of content for you guys, right? Probably wouldn't be doing it without viewers. But I'm not going to, if I had to choose between inconveniencing viewers and inconveniencing players with this one, I would not choose to inconvenience the players. And so we've had situations where we've had 3 players sick and then we knew going into it that 2 players would be delayed by a week and a half because of things going on in their lives, my choices were bar 2 players from not playing and then forcing 3 players to play sick, or just allowing a couple days delay here or there. And obviously, it was an easy choice for me. Again, this type of league is meant to be amazing for the players. And so far, the feedback has been really good. Wow, this is a loop-de-loop right here. Now, did he not know about this dock until he went over here with the villager originally? Oh, man, that's actually really, really bad, guys. I mean, also, Hera won't expect it because Hera's checking the shoreline over here. So it might end up working out for him. But he actually failed to scout this shoreline earlier on in the game. And now Hera, I think, is still suspicious. And he just saw the villager. Okay, so you could actually block the dock foundation with a fishing ship. And that's what Hera's going to try and do here. It's going to buy him a little bit of time. But no, the dock's going to go up anyways. Now Hera knows what's coming. Bit of a delayed opening for Hera. Again, he picked Chinese. Like, this is not a civilization that gets those fast docks now and the fast starts while they have all the other bonuses to work with. And Hera just decides, well, here's my play. I'm going to go for 2 docks at home now just to defend myself. And I actually really like the decision. Bro's villager's not building that. Okay, we'll build the palisade now. It's weird. I think it's trying to build the palisade. The villager's trying to automatically build the palisade he's standing on. Instead of, if that palisade wasn't there, it would have automatically built the other palisade. And that's 2 instances of it. That I was thinking about why that might happen. And I think Bro just didn't realize that that was the situation. He's going to lose his Vil. So I don't know. I'm a little unsatisfied with how slow this was for Bro. It came down to a scouting situation. He simply assumed that Hera was going to be on the other side. You go back to his scouting, and then he had to do a loop-de-loop. So the dock is delayed. Hera saw it anyways. Hera now will have 2 dock fire galleys, and Hera should be okay there. We're going to have archers for Bruh. And this is something that Hera might not be able to scout at this point. I actually would like to go back and see Hera's scouting. He did see a barrack, so he's expecting some type of follow-up. At the moment, he just used his scout to snipe the scout there. And now, as he adds his own scouts, he realizes it's going to be archers for the Brazilian. Lots of wood in the bank for Bruh. And something I should talk about in regards to Hera is Hera loves to transition into those farms nice and early. So if anyone was going to just skip the rest of the pawns, it probably would be Hera. So far, so good for Hera, I would say. Also, Eco KD is apparently 1-0, so a villager might have died. Apologies if I... Oh, no, that was the villager I just saw. Okay, sorry, just first game of the day. For me, 2 archers with fletching, no spearmen, though. Again, it just feels a little underwhelming so far for Bro. If he had the spearmen here, he would have been okay. Hera's going to see this now. But it is 2 spearmen, 2 archers. And the whole strategy here, guys, was about this accomplishing something. And it was so slow, and Hera's fishing ships are going to be safe. Great job from him. All right, walls will need to come up for Bruh. He's still trying to send army forward. The beauty of scouts is that you can pick off the individual archers when they run forward like this. There goes that archer. Just not running towards his friends right now, I've noticed. Hera won't end up getting the snipe he wants, though, so the army count continues. Hera mixing in a few farms. Also, adding more fishing ships into this pond. I would say 8 to 12 is what I suggest. He's gone up to 10. So he's choosing to stick with that pond for now. And also Hera over here. It's funny, as he's walking to dock, he actually scouts the dock from Bro. We'll see if Bro even noticed that. And Bro choosing to go to this pond and this pond as well. Obviously a lot to pay attention to. And Hera should be able to kill this villager because 4 scouts against 1 spear is no problem for the scouts. Bit more of a problem if the spearman has the hill, but that's going to be a kill for Hera, and that's going to be the second eco kill for him in this game. Archer's now behind Hera's wood line. Hera is making skirmishers, though, so it feels like he can just relocate. And you'll notice, like, Bro's feeling a little all in here. He's using the market, buying and selling some things. I think that's just the pressure you feel when you're up against Chinese, and you know how flexible they are overall at this stage. But also when you're the underdog and you realize that you're probably not going to have that overall ability to compete with someone. Again, the whole idea with Lithuanians is the fast feudal, the fast dock, or, you know, whatever else you're going to go for. Archers were late. Dock was a little delayed. And I don't think he actually knows about these docks from Hera. Maybe he does. Continues to buy some food here. Look at the amount on food, though, for Hera. Hera knew about this, right? So he's making fire galleys. So far, so good for him. Scout's still running around. And Hera's got the farming eco. Everything's nice and relaxed and calm. The transitions all make sense. And then for the Brazilian here, he's just trying to buy some food here or there, and he's hoping if whatever he can do in Castle Age make the difference for him. So I wouldn't say so far that Hera's going to be too disappointed with how this has gone. He defended his own pond. He likely will be able to compete and win in the north here. The only issue for him, I guess, would be the fact that he's not up yet. Also, we got some walls here from Bro. Oh, I love this dock from Hera. Hera's playing this super well. Again, I've seen him not transition to those other pawns. And he has the ability to just be stubborn and go towards the farms. But ideally on a map like this, you do make those transitions, and this is going to be so bad for Bro. I mean, half of his food eco, it feels like, is right here. And he's going to end up losing his fire galley on this side, maybe even the Repairville. So far, so good for Hera. 13 kills, 4 deaths, and I expect that number to even climb for him. So it's just the most basic of things, right? Like, Bro, obviously a very talented player, but when the pressure's on, or, you know, when you're a high-level player, you will assume things from time to time when maybe you shouldn't. Those small, basic things end up being the most important things at the end of the day. And I think what I keep circling back to in my mind was how he was sending his villager to this pond. He could have got his dock up almost 2 minutes faster. And by the time his dock was up, Hera had already spotted it and killed the villager. And Hera was able to defend. Again, we'll look back to that. But Hera dominating Bro so far, game 1. He's got much better economy. Look at his resources when he's going to make it to Castle Age versus what we've seen from Bro here. And Bro's going to go 2 stable knights with the Lithuanians, and I don't mind it. We'll see if Hera wants to swing this villager over to this pond if he sees something here. He's contesting the water in the south. And Bro trying to respond there. Love Hera's scout activity here. He knows at this point that he's going to lose these skirmishers, so he's just trying to kill as many archers as possible. And Hera going for +2 right away on the knights. Wow. I was kind of hoping... He probably deems it to not be important right now, but I was expecting him to get War Galley. I think maybe if he notices there's a pond here and he decides to dock there, then he might want the War Galley upgrade. Now, the thing is, Hera made a lot of fishing ships here, so he's almost about to run out. And so he's got to be careful that he doesn't look at his food count and think that that's going to be working all the time. There's 10 fishing ships there. Even getting gill nets, which is interesting. I guess that technology is cheaper because you're Chinese. Here come the knights from Hera. You'll notice that he has tons of upgrades. But there are archers. There are spearmen. Hera might want to back away here. He goes in for the Vil. Interesting he's done this. Gets the Vil. And now we'll see the monastery, and that's going to be no surprise to him. Lithuanians are always going to do that. Hera's going to try and do the same. And there goes the monk. Again, does Hera scout this? Hera does scout this now. There's a chance that he will send this villager to that corner. He hasn't fully won the north yet. That's why I feel like when you have the edge, you should get War Galley. He is still kind of controlling that, though. 65 eco versus 46. Villager has also gone down here, 31 to 13 KD at the moment. Hera goes for TC number 3. I think Hera has played this perfectly so far. He's got 3 out of the 4 pawns. He's got 3 TCs. He's got awesome technologies. The only way that he loses this game now is if Bro gets a lot of conversions. And if the relic number really starts to climb for the Lithuanians. And I think Bro is going to recognize how far behind he is based on the score. And then, again, based on the fact that virtually everything he's tried this game has not worked out. Aaron, I don't know if you're going to get a response from anyone here. I'm sure there's plenty of people who watch on Android. But whichever app you're using, if you're using the Facebook app, you could try the Facebook gaming app. That's my suggestion. I personally, I've had moments where I've liked both. They have updated a lot over the last 10 months I've been here, so there are times where I'm like, oh, okay, well, this one feels better now. But for me, I would just suggest to maybe switch over to the other one and see if that's a better experience. The thing that the Facebook gaming app does better, I think, is it gives that overall stream feel. And I personally have better experiences with quality and consistency. But I guess there as well, if you like try and type with a page on that, I think it's a little bit more difficult. Okay, you're on the gaming app. Gotcha. Yeah, then I'd say try the alternative and see what happens. But if you have continuous issues, post it in the Discord and people give responses there and I can give feedback there too. Well, 2 conversions is a must here. 2 conversions is a must. He doesn't get a single conversion. Felt like both the monks were going there. Maybe he did get one and I missed it. So both players go in, and this is not a fight that Hera really wants to be taking right now. He's not winning this fight. And the only way he loses is if he gets all-ins. And right now, that all-in is starting. More monks will pop out of that monastery. Lithuanian monasteries work faster. Hera pretty much just needs to defend from this attack. So I would say more monks for him, more camels. With this economy, he should be able to make more. But that's the beauty in the monks, is that they can get conversions. That's a crazy eco difference, though. Is Hera adding fish traps? Okay, that's really good. The fact that he thought ahead there instead of mixing in farms, well, I guess he's done a bit of both, but that's really good. Really impressive stuff from Hera so far. I love the monastery. The monastery is awesome. Because I think it's an underrated move in general when you're behind. Because the best way to recover against military units your opponent's making is to convert them. But also Lithuanian monasteries work faster. I think the concern here for Bro, and he doesn't know this obviously, is that Hera's on stone. So if Hera feels as though he's going to start to fall behind, he can actually drop a castle, and that should allow him to hold. Looks like a monk was killed here, by the way, created from Hera. Yeah, Hera being on stone here is crucial. Also, delaying that relic from coming in is also massive. Because that would have been extra attack here for Bro, as he's the Lithuanians. Okay, Mangonel for Bro, which can help against monks. I always scream about Sanctity. Also, Hera's got a monk in there between the relics, which is kind of funny. How does that even happen? How is it in between? Is it the order in which things are collected, I guess? Look at this from Hera, though. Oh, the little loop-de-loop. And this is a result of Bro not pushing Hera. If Bro was constantly pushing Hera, Hera would never be able to counter. And now he's like, oh, shoot, well, I can't send everything forward now. He might not have even realized that, to be honest. He's going to lose those villagers. And it'll be a more complicated situation for both players in some ways. Because Hera doesn't have all of his army at home, but Bro doesn't have the ability to defend himself at home. And you'll start to see these tiny little knight camel numbers start to pick away at the eco. And then the reinforcements, too. The new monks can't come forward. And now Hera decides to dive because he figures Bro will be distracted. And he does take what I consider to be a decent fight here, but there's still a lot from the enemy. He's going to need conversions back. And the guy's got a massive lead here. So as long as this isn't a heavy swing towards Bro, Hera's going to be okay. It feels like if he pulls back, now he can wait a little bit longer. And then he could go to close out this game with the final attack. This raid was fantastic. I think the timing on it was perfect. He's just going to take his time here, drop a castle. And yeah, this push needed to accomplish a lot more here for Bro. Honestly, I feel like Bro played his situation when he was behind very well. He didn't try and go for all the town centers, because that wouldn't have been the play. He went for a lot of monks. He got relics. He made knights. He applied pressure. He went for siege push. I actually think the decisions that he made once he fell behind were perfect. But the reasons for him falling behind were due to some early game mistakes, and Hera outplayed him there. And you just can't give Hera, of all players, an opportunity to just play defensive. The second Hera knows you're on a timer, it feels like he's won the game these days. That's the same with probably like Viper as well. Hera and Viper both the best at that. They'll know you're on a timer, and then they just know how to pick away at you and just delay. and use their economy to win the game. And still, the army count for Hera isn't insane, but the eco is fantastic. He's got a 50 villager lead now. So again, Chinese, not a civilization that you see very frequently on this map. Hera loves the Chinese, though. One of the most dominant civs in the game on Arabia. He's the great Arabia player. And I think it was a good choice. And here, he's just going to kill the monks. He might end up losing some knights, but he figures, you know what? Again, you know, it's just a snowball of monks, a snowball of conversions that my enemy's going to need. I don't mind losing or donating a couple knights there to kill 4 monks. And Hera's clicked up to Imp. And the GG's called. Overall, a pretty good game. I think it was a good warm-up game, potentially, for both of them. But, again, for Hera, there's no pressure on him right now. He's looking fantastic in his group. He would love to solidify first place so he gets a bye. But I can't help, like, and I hope I'm not coming off too strongly. I understand Hera played well. But this is bad, okay? This is bad. And I even mentioned it. I think I mentioned that he just would assume that the doc was here. But look at this, guys. We are 8 minutes into the game. He was already over on this side with his scout. Never checked the shoreline, which is such a common thing on this map, and then started sending his villager here. Like, this delays the strategy by so much. Like, if he would have sent the villager the proper direction, he would have a dock up and making fire galleys before Hera would be able to respond. Boom, right now, if his dock's already being built, let's say this is the proper pond, he's 50% to completing his dock, and he's going to have 2 fire galleys before Hera can have 1. But then he goes, oh, there's actually no dock there. Oh, okay, what are we going to do with our timing? Well, we're going to walk around. I think he might have even added the barracks because he didn't have the dock yet. He's like, I got to spend my wood on something. And now he sees it. And by the time he completes the dock, Hera's already in feudal age. Like, that is really, really bad and inexcusable at this level. One of the big weaknesses of Chinese is that they're going to be later to feudal age compared to a Lithuanian build like this. One of the best ways for Lithuanians to punish the Chinese is to get that dock up quickly. Didn't happen. So I do think when he fell behind that he played well, and I think Hera had a very clean game. But you just cannot put yourself in a losing position like that with such a basic thing such as scouting. All right, so game number 2. Again, the situation in Group B is that Hera is soaring, right? So whether he wins or loses this next game is not as big a deal for him, though obviously he'd love the $40 per win, and obviously he'd love to confirm that he's going to be first place. But Poles versus Aztecs here, a Civ matchup I don't think I've ever seen yet in TTL, though both Civs are somewhat common on Arena. Maybe this is a matchup that can work really well for Bro to get a win. Again, if he gets a win, that will put him in a better position before his final round, which is going to be potentially do or die for both players, Dragonstar and Bro, next week. And he has 2 total wins throughout the whole league. So does Dragonstar. And if Hera were to 3-0 here, they would both go in at 2-2. But also, if they both go in at 2-2, and Barles is able to get resolved. I mean, it's tricky, because then Barles has to play Hera next week. Barles plays Yo after this. So, like, let's say Barles gets some wins. Barles extends his lead, and then maybe it's a world where Dragonstar and Bro are just relegated anyways, regardless of what happens in their set. That set's going to be happening next, by the way. Yo versus Barles. What do you think will happen there? Do you think Barles can get some wins off of Yo? I mean, there's also a crazy world. I mean, I love the possibilities, even in a group that has been a bit simpler than the others. There's also a crazy world where Barles goes 2-1 or 3-0 versus Yo. And then Yo... who does Yo play next week? Let's say Yo were to lose to Velez badly. That Yo could maybe, like, somehow be last-minute relegated. I would say that Yo's the favorite against Barles, but still... he maybe struggles for consistency a bit more than some of the other names. Poles for Bruh. Civilization that relies on farms. I love this. He knew the deer was just going to go back to where it started, and he knows that means it'd run underneath the TC. Nice little trick there. Barles beat Bruh 3-0. Yeah, he did beat Bruh 3-0, which is huge, right? Like that, getting those points was massive, because he only had... his other win was against Dragonstar. It's a weird group. It's interesting. I think the only players that have been super consistent in the group has been Velez and Hera. And Hera gets housed! What? How do you get housed? That is so crazy to me. I feel like 80% of the people watching this would not get housed at 15 pop. And no offense to you guys, but you don't exactly have the perfect build orders. Hera is now down a build because he forgot to make a house on Arena. What in the world? Anyways, that's the most exciting thing of the game so far. I really like the map layout for bro. I don't think he'll get pressured, but just look at his gold and his stones. Actually, this gold is incredible. I guess Hera is as well because you can place a TC that would allow you to place farms, and I'll take wood and also take the gold. But yeah, not sure what was up there with Hera. So let's think what polls are generally good at. So we know their economy's good. I think in many situations they might play it into that meta and go for scouts and light cap for relic control. Aztecs can't go scouts, but Hera could maybe go eagles and monks. Honestly, I wouldn't necessarily mind just playing into scouts and booming here if you're bro, because you could make a lot of them. But I think I would really focus on making scouts before adding my second and third town center. Should Hera have gotten loom there? Probably not, because that could affect his build order. I guess since he's Aztecs, he could have researched loom and still at 100 gold. I guess on the bright side, he might not need to send 2 villagers to gold like a lot of civs need to without loom. He could maybe send 1. And so in theory, that could allow him to have the same amount of villagers on food and whatnot. Yeah, I have seen Hera play Aztecs quite a bit. And he generally does what I said, where he adds the barracks and goes for eagles and monks. Eagles and Castle Age are pretty good against scouts. I think they do die 1v1 against the light cap, but we'll see. Big thing here for bro, though, is you do not farm around your TC. Also, you got to pull villagers away from your sheep here. What's going on? There you go. You got to farm around the full work, even in Dark Age. Relics seem fairly fair. 2 of them close to each player, and then you've got this one out in the middle. I guess a little bit closer to Hera. And bases are moderately far apart. Okay, guys. This is really important. Hera's base, like, if you just look at the walls and up, it kind of looks like a koala. Do you see it? We talked about the bird yesterday, and someone posted a picture in the Discord, which was hilarious. I have to talk about that later. Do you see it? You've got, like, one eye is bigger than the other. You've got the eye here and the eye here. This is the nose. And then, look, you've got the ears. This is, like, the top of his head. It's the koala map. Somebody screenshot that and posted it in the Discord. I don't know what's going on with his body. This is a very deformed koala. It's like a combination of a koala and a dolphin. It's like a weird koala mermaid. But it kind of looks like a koala. If he would just make something over here, like if he makes his houses here, then the eyes would be perfect. I would love for Hera to do that. Also, Hera, weird game. He's got a pig over here he isn't taken. I've done that before in Arena, by the way, where I scout with my pig and forget about it. He's actually ruining the koala right now, which is the most annoying part. There we go. He's going to bring the pig home. Again, he's probably fine, but 27 seconds of TC idle time is pretty bad. I mean, 5 seconds is nothing to fret over, but even that's kind of bad. Interesting what bro's doing here, though. He didn't place a single farm. So he wants to wait to build his farms. I actually am not in love with this if it delays his castle time. I think placing 3 regular farms is still fine. And then all your future farms, you can get the bonus. But it's more of a preference thing. I know what he's going to do. Actually, I actually like this now that he's going for the market. So he doesn't need all this stone. He just went to stone instead of gold because you receive gold while mining stone. So I think he's going to sell... he's going to sell a little bit. And just buy the food. And then he'll click up. And yeah, he'll be fine. The bottom part actually looks like a dope fish without the teeth, though. There's actually a fish called a dope fish. I didn't know that. But yeah, there he sells the stone. He buys food. Now he's going to get horse collar, and then he can see the farms around his full work. A bit greedy. I don't love it because it doesn't... You still don't have the food at this point to make the scouts. You might not have the food for some of your other eco upgrades, but I can see what he's trying to do here. Obviously, his farms are going to complete right after horse collar, and then you'll see his food count spike up. So it's just a difference in styles. Some players do it this way. Other players will add a couple Dark Age farms. Oh my god, the koala looks... Okay, the right eye is bigger on the koala now. But it does look a bit better than it did before. Man, his face... It's like we're watching the koala age right now. Look at it go. I don't know. Oh, man. Hera is really ruining it with the barracks. But we haven't really had a mouth yet for the koala. We've had... You know, this chin. So we'll see. Also see what the scout production looks like for Bro. Again, I'm liking it more and more the more I look at it. It didn't jive with me, but now that I'm looking at it, I think this is really solid. So we'll see the scouts come out. Yes, Hera is a villager behind. Interesting. So Hera also got Loom there. So he's 2 vills behind. And Hera's going to boom, go into Eagles, and probably go into Monks. Can we please pause and ask Hera to fix the koala? I asked Robo about it, and he said that was unprofessional. So no, sorry, we can't. Hired the wrong guy to admin my event. Okay, here comes the monastery. Again, I think the key against Aztecs is you focus on lots of light cav numbers and you delay the second TC. Because they are likely going to have Eagle Spear. Aztecs get tons of gold per relics, which can really carry them. Light cav upgrade is in right now. Here's Hera with 2 Eagles. I like how Bro's hiding this. He's going to loop around, maybe try and get in the other side of these Eagles to get the kill. Please do that. No. I'm not going to do that. Farm upgrade comes in. Notice how he is delaying the second TC. Again, I like this. Prioritizing his eco upgrades. Now he gets even more of a food boost when he places farms around his full works. I really felt like there was an opportunity for Bro. I didn't watch exactly how he came into this engagement. But to me, it felt like there was an opportunity for him to kill those Eagles. It looks like he came from underneath. Hera able to get away. That's a really important thing for him as he has his monk behind the walls, just healing up for now. Hera did fall behind in villagers, obviously, due to some rough situations with the start. But he's now on the second TC, so he'll be fine. We could even see the third TC. He never had to make a stable here, right? He's just producing out of his barracks, which you can't see from Bruh. And there's not too many light cav out, but enough where Bro is considering going for the monk, and he's forced Hera to run away so far. TC, again, I love the TC spot. Love the farms around the full works. Farms are going to be good for a while. They will start to reseed at some point. Some players will have auto reseed on. Does he? He doesn't. I'd say almost every single player who's in top 24 will not use auto reseed until the mid game. I actually have removed mine. There's one too many instances where I need the wood for things and I have more than enough food and then my farms start reseeding. And I'm trying to not be quite as lazy with that. It makes a big difference in your play to delay that, at least when you're at the higher elo. And good job there from Bruh. He won't lose a light cav to a conversion. And so far, Hera hasn't been able to get any relics. So he's got 1. He's got 2 on the way back. And this is a good engagement. Bruh is playing very well here. I believe it's a good engagement. Yes, and he's even pulling back the weak light cav. Killing those Eagles is smart. I like it. You've got to think Hera's probably going to get 2, but you don't want him to get 3 or 4. In the end, 2 relics with Aztecs is still going to bring in a lot of resources. And Hera still very close to getting this one. We'll probably see some of the light cav heal up right now. There's still a relic here, and there's a relic here. When we compare the vill count, Hera has a slight lead. There's the TC, though, for Bruh. Food count should be flying right now. Really needs to set a gather point with this TC. I'm sure he will. But that is definitely a small thing that you have to pay attention to. And Hera's scared about this. Here he goes. He's going for conversions. He's trying to block the light cav so he won't lose monks, but he doesn't have any HP upgrades. some people might question that. I'm never one to talk about sanctity or HP upgrades if you know me. Also, why did he stay in that fight, bruh? Just didn't have a unit engaging and stuck around there a little too long, but... And you are Aztec, so if you research sanctity, you go to 45 HP, but then you get plus 5 HP on top of that because you get 5 HP for every monk tech. So I've been screaming that it's worth it. I think, you know, that could have made the difference between keeping a monk or two alive and having that relic already. Bro's already going to get relic number 3, and here he comes focusing on relic number 4. He's in a good spot. Will likely lose his monk now. But he has his Light Cav in position to kill some eagles now. And Hera's going to make a run for it. He's like, oh, I got to get this right now. And Bro needs to loop in right now. He needs to go. He needs to go. Here he goes. He sees the relic has disappeared. It's going to be a photo finish to the gate here, guys. Now, Hera, you don't want to let Light Cav in your base either. So you have to be careful with this. Oh, the monk goes down. I think it's going to be tough to snipe the next monk if you're Bro, but you got to try. And especially if you get in here with the Light Cav, imagine how annoying that would be. It's tough, though. I mean, he goes back home to place 3 farms, and then suddenly he loses a Light Cav just like that. So I think it's almost a given that Hera's going to get that one. And yeah, there he goes. So well played overall. This has been a very close game. Still very curious what Hera's composition is going to be. Spearman got converted there. Not bad. Hera decides not to run into his base, which was smart. Converts the Spearman back, and that guy's ready to come home. When I was thinking about the Civ matchups that we could see, I was thinking initially it would be Bohemians versus Aztecs, and I thought Bohemians would dominate there. Or sorry, I thought Aztecs would dominate there, because we've seen Skirmisher, Monk, Trebuchet work really well in games in the past. And I think that's part of why... Oh, thank you so much, Nuka, for the koala photo in the chat. Oh my god. Hold on, can I just pull this up real quick? This is really important content. But this is awesome content right here. Look at that thing go. All right, perfect. Anyways, back to the game. Shoot, what were we talking about? I got distracted by the koala fish. Oh, yeah. The more I think about Poles, the more I feel like Poles can really take it to the Aztecs. If Aztecs go Eagles, the Poles have the Olbuk. If Aztecs go for Skirmishers, the Poles have the Winged Hussar. You know, I guess you have really heavy siege options if you want to go siege onager if you're Aztecs as well, but that's very rare. I don't know, like from the farming eco to having the 3rd relic to having full map control right now with the Light Cav, I really think Bro could take this game. Just put a miner on your PC? Maybe. It sounds like Nuka. I'm going to edit that in later for longer viewing on YouTube. Thank you, Hardy. God, man. Full-time editor bringing the important work to the channel. Let's go. Guys, I'm so proud that our content have got to the point. And Hardy might be joking, and now he's like, oh, God, I actually have to edit this in. I'm just glad that, like, this content got to the point where we legitimately are going to have that edited into a video. Like, that's important. Also, these Eagles, they might be switching sides here. Let's see. Okay, one of them switches sides. Oh, don't switch back. They didn't appreciate you. There you go. Just put that over the minimap for the whole match. Yeah, I'm really bummed that the koala's face is all mangled now. But if I look hard enough, I can still see it. I think that's important. Imp for both players will come in at similar times. It's 15 to 15 KD. We have a castle for Hera, something that Bro does not see at the moment. He has to be careful, though. He doesn't have a lot of army just yet. He doesn't see the castles going up. I think a castle here would be good. Ooh, this could be denied. This could be denied. Hera's got upgrades that he didn't have before. The Light Cav will go in for the monk. I would wall in your villagers right now if you're Bro. Maybe he feels like the Light Cav are going to trade well enough here. But he's losing the fight. You have to wall in your villagers. This will become a Treb war. And here he is walling in his villagers. Okay, the castle should complete. He has to make sure he actually builds the gate. This villager here is going to die. Sad times for him. And also, he is showing Hera exactly what he's going to open with here. Not sure I love this castle spot. I feel like what I would want to do is I would want to invite Hera forward a bit, but I don't know. Very important area for both players. But if you're going to make Olbuk you don't want the castle to be here. I just don't think he's going to commit to those right now. He's actually very... It reminds me of another game where I was saying how Olbuk could be good for the poles, and they went for a forward castle. He's going for the privilege upgrade, which would mean his knights don't cost a lot of gold, so he's going to go Cavalier. But, again, I think the Olbuk is a very important tool. Otherwise, if Hera has just full pikemen and monk, Aztec pikemen with 4+8 attack combined with a few monks could be very strong against straight Cavalier. Given Hera a target, Hera will go 2 trebs here to try and push that back. More and more eco flowing for Bruh. I love his farms. He's got a lot of them now, and he will have Cavalier completed any moment. But now he has to repair this castle. You see what I mean? I guess he was hoping he'd be imp faster. That's where it gets tricky. But I'm sure right now he's really annoyed that this castle is being trebbed down because he doesn't have the answer to take out the treb. It's too close to the walls. The opponent can treb you down from over their walls. And you don't have the army yet. He might just give up this castle. Honestly, he might just give it up. I feel like, okay, so on one hand, Aztecs don't get Halb. And the benefit of Halb is you do a lot of extra bonus damage. But Poles don't get the final armor. So I feel like in the end, it's almost like Halb versus fully upgraded Cavalier. Right? Like, in my mind, that's how I see it. They both have some weaknesses to their comp. But Hera's got 43 army. He's got 24 pikemen. The Cavalier, man, I know they're cheap. It's not the unit you want. And it's so frustrating for me, too, because, like, Arena, there's nothing else to talk about except koalas on the mini-map. It's all about your opening after the Relic fight. And it's just the worst possible opening he could have gone for. That castle was the key for him to push back this type of composition. He needs to have his unique unit. Here he goes. Cavalier. They go in. They'll take out the trebs, which will delay things. It's not bad. And his units are fairly cheap. He is getting infantry upgrades, so we know he's going to go for the Olbuk now. Maybe just didn't think ahead enough to realize that he had to go for this. Farming eco is still pretty secure. Still has quite a few builds. We have Garland Wars now for Hera. Has anyone ever seen Jaguar Warrior against Olbuk? Because now I'm interested. Because if you already have the infantry upgrades, you could maybe go for Jags with this many castles. I would prefer to see that. Hera knows there's a castle there, so I bet you Hera's going to move forward here in a moment to try and target that castle. He probably feels like there's no way he loses if his opponent can't make his unique unit. There you go. Jags shred them. I just haven't seen it, right? I feel like Jags would be an epic unit to see here. Bro, opened Cavalier. Now is switching into Olbuk's. He's got 1 castle, guys. He cannot take his stone here. He does not have any more stone. That castle spot was just the worst possible thing for him. He's got 7 units. Sorry, not 7 units. That's false. But 7. Now 8 Olbuks. About to be elite. Is the unit strong enough to push back the numbers here? Hera's got 60 army. Now, I think the correct play would have been a safer castle off to the side. Opening with Cavalier, I don't hate. Because, you know, you put your opponent into pikemen, and then I think you have the castles for the Olbuks. These 2 castles. Oh, he does have 1 behind this. Okay, that makes it a lot better. That's really good. What's Hera thinking? Tell me Hera's thinking of going Jaguar Warrior. Also risky, obviously, if you can't continue your push. Hera could lose his trebs here. He's got all this army, but not in the position. He loses 2 trebs. Dang. And, oh, yeah, baby, Elite Jag, let's go! Elite Jag! I think if it was any other infantry unique unit except for, like, the Samurai or the Teutonic Knight, the Jaguar Warrior would be perfect. I have not seen the fight enough times to know who wins. And I also like how Hera is a little on the fence about it, and he's going to go for what looks like range tech. Maybe to mix in some Arbalest as well. But I like Hera's thinking here. He will need to defend his castles, obviously. So the Jags now have 12 plus 8 attack. I guess the big thing about Jags is their attack, and it's not their armor. But Obuks, they've always seemed to trade cost-effective against everything they fight. I have felt like the stripping armor away thing has been a strong, an OP thing about them before you even talk about the cost and whatnot. And this fight, I mean, expensive losses for both players. I think in the end, maybe better for Hera. Those Jags survived. Those Jags did melt those Obuks. And Hera's got the production. Also, Jaguar Warriors do produce pretty quickly. We'll see if Hera likes that. Yep, he's queuing up more. So Hera feels like this is the unit that's going to win him the game. And, I mean, even if it's a 50-50 trade here, it's fine for Hera. Because he's the one who has trebuchets. He's the one who has map control. He just maybe needs to be a little bit careful about the castle fire. Interesting. Thank you, Raz, for letting me know. So, a fully upgraded generic Halb, 4-hit, a Polish Cavalier, and then a fully upgraded Aztec Pike, 5-hit. Okay, so there's not that big a difference. I mean, obviously that one extra hit can make a big difference if you're fully popped, right? You want your units to be as efficient as possible. I think Hera's going to feel fine about this. He's got good control over the game. Now, Jags against Cavalier, at least Polish Cavalier, you do have to start thinking about the cost effectiveness. The Cavalier taking some decent trades there. But, I mean, I look at Hera's macro, I look at his control, I look at how he can take the stone and gold in the front, I look at how he's taking the extra gold in here. He actually, I think, has spotted now that his opponent's taking gold there, so he's going to castle it. It feels methodical, it feels calm, and he feels like he's in a good spot. But the population is slightly higher for Bro right now. Hera wants to switch into the ranged units. Arbalest Obuk is interesting because Jags and Pikemen are actually very weak. And Hera is now queuing up skirmishers, which Aztecs are very well known for doing. But he doesn't have elite skirm just yet. I don't think he researched it Ladle either. This castle, though, and I think all the gold and stone control that Hera has in the right is very important aspect of his game. Yes, Bro's army comp is stronger, but he has no way to push through castles right now. Sniping a few trebuchets is obviously good, but this is going to give Hera plenty of time. Hera's skirms are then going to be dangerous for these Arbalest. And here come some of those upgrades he's been missing. You can tell Bro's very desperate for resources. It's like he's pushing out as if he's like, okay, I'm going to clean up this area because my comp is better. But the castle spots, man. He's surrounded by castles. He needs trebs. And he has one castle to produce the trebs from. He's working on that right now. Things could get a little bit better for Bro if he goes for the Winged Hussar upgrade. Also, the other unique tech, which gives them trample damage. But any gold unit he makes is countered by Hera's right now, is it not? I guess the guy's running low on gold, but still, like, the whole point of polls is that you can outmass your opponent, and the units you have are very cheap. We have not seen Bro be able to outmass Hera here. And I believe Hera has him out-teched in some ways. Arpit, after this, we will have Mr. Yo versus Barles in the same group. And Bro, Barles, and Dragonstar are all desperate for points. So it's a very interesting one. And Yo isn't necessarily secure in his group either. If Barles were to 3-0 Yo, it would put Yo in a really crazy position. And of course, we'll talk about all that. Air with Skirm, Pike, and Jag. It almost looks like an AI's army composition right now, but it's an effective army composition. And the relics are actually right here. So, guys, I said earlier, because I know some people have just got here, since there's been 8 sets played today, I won't be able to cast all of them. So I will actually spoil some results that happened earlier today. The set that I'm going to spoil right now, and if you don't want it to be spoiled, I think you could always watch it on Jordan's channel later. I heard there were some really crazy games. But the set I'm going to spoil is from that set. It was Jordan and Say My Name. I will not be casting that. Jordan was able... I mean, the games apparently were very long. You had one game which went on for like 2 hours. But Jordan, he won 3-0 there. And so the set we'll be casting after Yo's set, or third set of the day, will be the same group as Jordan. It'll be Viper versus Miguel. And Miguel will be desperate to get a win or two because his final set next week will be between Miguel and Jordan. And that could be a set we look to see who's relegated or not. And I also, I don't want to I don't want to get too far ahead of myself here. But I also had a call with Miguel last night on a strategy. Because, again, his goal is to get at least one win against Viper. And I'm excited to cover that later on. I don't know, man. Like, on Arena, everything's so simplified. So, bruh's going to look at this and be frustrated like it's the simplest thing in the world. But this castle is just what lost him the game, I feel. I think the thinking to place this castle isn't necessarily bad, but the positioning is bad. At the very least, place it here. See Hera's castle. He's like, okay, protect myself. Don't overextend. I feel like if you castle here and you mine the stone, Hera has to leave his base to hit you. You can maybe have more success, but this castle was so bad. It was just a donation to Hera. Then he fell back. I also think maybe opening with Cavalier is in the play, though it might be easier to do that than the O-Book because you need castle numbers for the O-Book. Another game, though, where, Hera didn't really have a ton of trouble. Hera has loved the classic pick in the Aztecs on Arena in this event, and it has worked well. It's working against the good civs we're seeing on Arena, too, like Poles and Bohemians. So I'm not sure. I feel like Burgundians would do a bit better against the Aztecs. In that game, Hera collected a bit more in the way of resources. His KD was impressive. Obviously didn't win the Relic War, but it didn't really matter too much at the end of the day. Bro collected a little bit more gold, but Hera was going to have more gold secured in the middle of the map. All right, so it hasn't looked too good for Bro. Sad times for him. He won 2 games in the first round, and then ever since then, it's just been loss after loss. Of course, big matchup for him at the tail end of this group between him and Dragonstar. But what happens between Barles and Yo is important to look out for. So there is a chance, I suppose, that Bro will straight up be relegated regardless. I think, as it stands, if Barles gets 1 win in his set against Yo, which will be after this, I believe that confirms that Bro is relegated. Actually, I've just done the math in my head, right? He has 2 wins. Barles has 4. And if Barles were to get just 1 to go up to 5 total wins, even if Bro were to tie him with a 3-0 in the final week, the tiebreak is by sets 1, which... Actually, no. I should maybe slow down a little bit. I don't think Barles has actually won a set. No. He did win a set. He won a set against Bro. Yeah. That could be tricky. So, yeah, Bro needs to get a win here. He needs to get a win. Win would do him so many favors. Here he is playing as the Byzantines. And then, again, you've got Hera playing as the Grajaras. Winchester was the first person to pick Grajaras in this map. And I think it's quite strong if you can get all your Buffaloes in. But he hasn't been able to find them yet. He's currently looking around. I mean, he has just missed a bunch of them. And so this actually does slow down the strength of his civilization. Oh, my God. He still doesn't see this one. Did Bro win against Yo? Yeah, he did win against Yo. He won 2-1 there. Again, it's points, so map wins. And then the tiebreak is then sets 1, and then it's head-to-head, I believe. So in the event they're tied on points, they go through those criteria for position. So, I mean, what I want to see is I want to see Bro get a win, because then that shakes things up massively for his series against Dragonstar. Obviously, that does put Dragonstar in a worse position as well. Hey guys, sure the question has been asked, but why is Toe not in Platinum League? Surely he is ranked top 24. Because he's not ranked top 24. For the ranking system we used, he was like 26th. Did not play in a lot of events. You had quite a few players competing in multiple events. I think Sato played in like 5 events or something. So ATP rankings value all events. And the lower tier events, they reward less points to. And so players like Dragonstar and Bro, they played S-tier events, but they also had really good results in events just below that, whereas Sato did not participate. So that's why. So it's very important to me. I mean, this league's important to me for a lot of reasons, but I feel like just going off players' reputation is a very dangerous cycle that can affect the scene. So we used ATP, which you can read about it. There's a very in-depth system if you wish to. And it goes off the actual results that players have gotten. Obviously for Sato, he's in gold. So Sato can simply, place top 8 in gold. And then he can be in platinum for the next season. So far, he's been doing really well in gold. I don't think his exact position is set yet. But I think it is basically confirmed at this point that he is going to be not promoted, sorry, but moving on out of his group stage. All right, so did Hera find these? Wow, dude. Hera did not find these. So he's only got 4 Buffalo. He's down 5 because he didn't scout them. So he's down 5 Buffalo. He probably assumes they've been stolen. And for Bruh, he's got a dock, and Hera's just trying to annoy the fishing ships. But this puts the Gurjara player in a worse position. And I can understand why Hera would think he would be lamed at this point, because he's had pretty thorough scouting. We'll see. Yeah, so to give you an example, right? So there was a bit of pushback with some of the placements on names. Another one people talked about was Daniel. They're like, surely Daniel's top 24. Right now, Daniel's at risk of being relegated out of gold. Like, there's a legitimate risk. He lost 2-1 to Kingston. He lost 2-1 to Sebastian. He won 2-1 versus Overtaken, and the last player that he plays is Sato himself. Sato could relegate Daniel out of gold. So for all this, like, this person's got skill, he's on ladder, blah, 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 this person has more reputation. Sure, I understand that, and people have reputations for good reason. But the way the system's designed is to throw reputation out the window and base everything on results. And if you have an issue with the starting point of certain players' positions, obviously, if they're good enough, the opportunity is there for them to simply move on up the ranks. Whereas in other events, it's like, hey, sorry you don't agree with the seeding. This is not going to happen again for a long time, so best of luck to you, Oh, man, Hera's still up so fast here. But he doesn't have fish. Let's actually check the food collected. Okay, so Hera has more food collected without going for fish and without eating his buffalo. And without having 5 buffalo. Oh my god, that's insane, man. That's insane. Like, why would you ever go for any other civ on this map? And why would you ever add fishing ships? If that's going to be the case. Now, bro obviously could collect more food from this. He's got the buffaloes to take here. He did transfer a lot to wood and gold. So his build is different than Hera's. But not that different, because Hera's going for docks and fire galleys right now. Let's see. Yeah, cows do give Gurjaras more food income than sheep. Cows give you 1.5 times the... Well, not 1.5 times, but I guess like 0.5 extra. But the game does account for the fact that cows have more food than sheep do, or goats. These fishing ships are getting pressured. This is very similar to what Winchester had done, except Winchester just went fast onto water, and he opened with galleys instead of fire galleys. But yeah, Hera, all in on the water right now. He was able to weaken Bruh's scout, by the way. I think that's an important talking point here. Byzantine fires do work faster, though. And there may be a point for Hera where he really feels like he needs more food income beyond just the berries. He doesn't have a lot other than berries right now. Yeah, so, words are hard. Words are hard. I tried to explain it. I like how Bruh has the villagers out here on the water to repair. We could see demos, though, and those villagers and the fishing ships will need to be careful. The priority for Hera here has to be taking out the ships, though. Demoing villagers can be nice. Demoing fishing ships can be nice. But when you make a demo, that is a time you're not making a fire galley, and the demo can only work once. So you want those demos to land against the fire galleys, otherwise you're at risk of losing out on water. Everything's real smushed in here, though, so it does feel like demos would make a lot of sense. Also, it might be tough for Bruh to move around because these trees. I could see the pathing being an issue there. Here comes a demo. They're also being annoying with the camel, which I like. There's the demo. Boom. That's a decent demo. It didn't collide with the ship on the right as much as he would have wanted, though. He's coming in with another one. Will bro see this? Oh, it comes in super last minute. He gets nailed. That's a great demo from Hera. There's another demo over here. The demo's not as smooth, but the demo from earlier has helped out. The camel's also helping. Bro is getting some crucial repairs in, though. It could have been worse for him. Meanwhile, Hera's adding some farming eco. I actually still want to check the food collected right now. Hera's still on top in that regard. Even though the fishing ships have been working, and Hera's just going to go for dock number 3. Super excited for round 5 in Group C. Cap Watch versus Slam. I think it will decide relegation. Yep, it most likely will. That will be amazing. I'm going to try and prioritize the sets and the timings and the coverage a little bit more for the final week. It's tough, though, because there's another event that's happening on weekends. So we don't want to take away from that. So I think it's going to be like Wednesday, Thursday next week. And then the final stages of Gold and Platinum will all be on weekends. So you guys don't have to worry about that, and it will have more of a typical structure. I mean, bro can take so many buffaloes still for his food. He does have tons of fires, so that might change if he gets hit by another demo. It still feels like it's just going to be water v water, and they'll macro their way up to the next stage. It's a close game right now. 5-4 Eco KD. Hera's been the aggressor. Both players have lost their scout. Well, that demo is a waste for Hera. Great job from bro. Maybe it's time for him to add one of his own demos. It looks like he's just waiting right now. Okay. Hera, relying a lot on farms. Finished with his berries now. We'll never find these at this rate. And we have a market from bro, as we could see maybe the desperation play of selling some stone and buying food for both. Could see that being the case. Hera's making so many demos right now. Oh my god. He's got 4 demos in queue. He's sick of this, man. He's sick of this. He's just going to send in demo after demo. Again, demos do make some sense here because things are extremely clumped. Boom! Boom! Actually, not horrible for bro. He does lose his repair villagers, who sucks for him. Ah, man, put your ships on spread formation, though, my friend. Don't bunch them up like this, please. Please. Okay, another demo goes off. Still no repairing. Castle Age could come in for bro first. He does land one of his own demos. That was a really good demo from him. But Hera gets away, so Hera can repair. It's funny how some players still think water is so important on this map, and then other players say screw the water. I can't wait to see what happens once we get into like the final stages, you know? The top 12 into the top 8, that would be really exciting. Because I think right now we're looking at top players who have a very different outlook on how to play this map. Hera and bro, very similar outlook. But if you think of how Vipers played it, you think of how Leary played it, they're not going for this much water focus. At least not like this. That's a good demo there from bro. Clears out the demo from Hera. And he's up. I don't expect Hera to be too far behind. Hera also has some great farming eco, which will lead him to have a better food eco throughout the rest of the game, but Hera still hasn't clicked. I love how gold players can win more from the $20 per win than from their final placement. It really gives every game value. Yeah, and also, I was looking at it last night. For like 50% of the players, they're going to double their career earnings just by playing one season in gold if they're getting some wins. Like Draken, for example, is 9-0 in gold. I think the guy's got like... I think Draken might be a bad example, but I don't think he even has over $1,000 in tournament 1v1 earnings. So, there's a lot of players under like 500 bucks, under like $1,000 in gold, which in my opinion is a problem, right? It's not good. I want more players to be able to earn some money from the game. So, that's pretty exciting. I take a lot of pride in that. But Hera finally has taken water away from his opponent. So, we'll see. You know, bruh, he could fight back. If you're going to do this, though, I think you need to get a third dock. His fishing ships are over here. Harris was very late to clicking up, I have to say. As the blacksmith is going double stable. Finally clicks up to Castle Age. I really thought he was going to click up a long time ago. So Hera didn't have the buffalo he would have wanted here at the start. Bruh hits the Castle Age way faster than you would have expected. And I would expect to see the War Galley upgrade, but he's going for a TC here. Okay, he does have the War Galley upgrade on the way. How much do top players make a year? Very big differences between everybody, right? Like the top 8 have earned so much more than everybody else. So you could look at Liquipedia. It has the career earnings for a lot of these guys. But, you know, if you're comparing even just like the top 15 versus the 15th, like 45th, there's a very big difference there. And so the idea of a league is the $40 per win in platinum is awesome for the players. $20 per win in gold is awesome for the players. And then there's also placement prizes, of course. And then the consistency of it. So they know, like, okay, all right, I can train up, work my way towards getting into the next edition, and it's not something they have to worry is not going to come again. Keep clicking on the docks. Isn't the dinging the worst thing? I don't know why no one else has talked about the dinging over these years. Like, I brought it up more so recently, and there's that meme song that someone made about it after I talked to Jordan. But the dinging is the worst, man. You click on the ship, there's a ding. You click on the ship, there's a ding. Dock, there's a ding. Give me a different sound, man. Give me like a seagull. There's birds on top of the dock. Give me something else. Also, elephants on top of the dock. Never knew about that one. Wonder if that's new with the Gujaras. Probably not. Okay, so... Oh my god, this could be a sick demo. Oh my god, please, please, please. I need it. I need it. I need it so badly. Hera's going to get his upgrade in a second. He won't have it when the demo comes out. Come on, demo it, demo it, demo it. No, no demo. Well, now Hera's okay. We'll see what this demo ends up doing. It looks like his ships are stuck in the mud. And yeah, that's a pretty worthless demo. So in the end, Hera's much later to Castle Age, but he has so much water control. Bruh's on 3 TCs, though, so Bruh could gain a small Vil lead there. And Hera's demos all go down, and then we have a demo from Bruh. Hera will also drop 3 TCs. That's an amazing demolition hit, though. With more demos, things could be okay, but I noticed Hera's got some Shravamshas. So Hera making some land units. Sniped a monk there, and that tells me that Hera's going to have full control in the Castle Age. What would you rather change in the dock? The ding, the demos, or the fires being on the second page? I hope people from my dock video... There's Hera, found a buffalo. Congratulations, man. I hope people realize from my video that, like, the biggest issue I have with the dock is not actually the page thing. It's the fact that it's the way War Galley's positioned and what War Galley does and how unintuitive that is. But yes, if I had to choose, I would probably choose the dinging because I'm selfish. For the greater good, it would be to change some of the other aspects I mentioned, but the dinging is so annoying for me that I probably would be selfish and change the dinging, to answer your question. Oh, God, there's an overchop. Oh, man. Like, bro could have been fine. He could have been fine. But the second these units get in here, he begins to have problems. Hera's got that water control. Hera sniped another monk. The monk failed to hop into the town center. He has been able to convert a couple Shravamshas, so we can use those Shravamshas to help out. But when Hera already has the middle control, you just expect some great things from him back at home as he has this raid. I reached 1100 before I knew War Galley upgraded fires. Yeah, it's just... Again, the context of how we got here makes sense. It was a good decision back then when the community was smaller and they tried to fix water, but... I think, you know, there's certainly some tweaks that could be made. Well, in the end, Hera Shravamshas will not lead to any more damage being done. This will need to be walled up, but I don't think Hera's going to make many more of them. Wouldn't surprise me to see Hera think about getting some relics right now. And we have docks for Bruh, and 70 population with Eco versus 72. Look at Hera, though. So timely. He's like, what's he going to do? Oh, he actually doesn't see this yet. He will see it, though. Yeah, he's going to see the dock, and he says, he's trying to switch back onto water. Now, it might look great for Hera initially, but there's monks out. And actually, the monks are a really big thing here, because you can convert those fires. This allows Bro to come back on water. Both players have very low amounts on gold right now. I don't know if that's intentional or if they're going to fix that. Hera's got 3 on gold, which feels very weird. I guess he is TCing the middle. Okay, that's going to change that. 4th TC here for Bro on the side. What were we talking about? I feel like I was going to mention something else. Oh, Bro is housed, but he's fixing that. Okay, so here's my question. Does anyone know how good the Navy is for the Gujaras? Because I don't. I'm going to assume they get first fast fire. Because they get everything else, and I know how the devs work, they probably get fast fire, and they probably get Galleon. They get Bracer, they get Chemistry, so they get fully upgraded Galleons. I know you can garrison fishing ships inside docks with the Gujaras. But I wonder if they get heavy demo. They probably have heavy demo as well. Also, let's just give them Elite War Elephant. I think that's probably a good addition. And have them made out of the stables with that food discount. Shipwright and no fast fire. Ooh, no fast fire is interesting. Galleon, I think, is more important. Because you probably don't want to go fast fires up against... Oh. No, Hera, you ruined our day. What are you doing? That would have been so good for us. We needed that. Actually, this could be amazing for Bro, though. He could get multiple conversions. He also has some spearmen. He also has more fires and a demo. Losing the monks isn't the biggest deal there. He's got pikes. He's got more fires on the way. Let's see if we could maybe get some demos out for either player. This fight isn't looking too horrible for Bro. But Hera's spamming more Shravamsha riders. He truly thinks Shravamshas counter everything. Lovely demo hit there, though. And I don't know. I mean, the Shravamshas seem to be... Do they soak up shots like they do against normal range units against the fires? Because if they do, it actually makes sense, I think. Okay, more demos. Great shots. There's going to be a castle here shortly, guys. Hera sees the builds, too. Hera should drop it. Oh, my God. Hera should drop his own castle because he knows this castle's coming. Oh, yeah, he sees the vills. Oh, my God. Shravamsha wrecked. Here come the villagers. Oh, geez. I don't know, though. There's still so many Shravamshas. Pikemen are in the way. Shravamsha's in the way. Demos and fires on the way. Hera's actually going to block the foundation with a siege workshop. He's trying to block this castle spot, but the castle spot can still go here. And here it comes. It feels like the castle could go up unless Hera has a demo on the way, and Hera's got 2. Hera's got Shravamshas as well. Oh, no. This is so bad. Doubt's not playing, but he's here at the same time, and Hera's defending this. This Shravamsha edition, man, has really worked out here, and he can demo these vills as well. Oh, jeez. I love the approach from Bro. I feel like Pikeman Navy worked out, or should work out, but he just didn't have the Navy numbers. And I really wonder how much of that is attributed to the Shravamsha edition from Hera. The Shravamshas are even going to take out the Pikemen here. Definitely felt like the Shravamshas were more, they were more helpful, I guess, than the Pikemen in these moments. KD's been amazing for Hera. The control of the gold's going to be amazing for Hera. He will drop his castle here. He'll drop another castle here. Bro is desperate to finish this castle as he makes more and more Navy, and he has to delete this now. Imp is cheaper with the Byzantines, so you could just place a defensive castle on your shoreline and try and go up to Imp here. But again, another game where it feels like Hera has just full control. And it felt like that ever since early Castle Age. This game, I think, was a whole lot better from Bra compared to... Well, Arena is always tough to judge, right? Obviously, it was the castle spot and late game composition. I don't know. Like, again, Bra didn't have a bad series. The first game, I thought Bra played quite well after he fell behind. And he fell behind because he didn't scout Hera's dock. And his whole strategy didn't really work. Hera wants to go for another castle. Hera has 140 villagers right now, which is insane. I don't know if this is necessary for Hera. I feel like going up to the Imperial Age would certainly be a play for him. Here, the Shrivamshas against pikemen. And they're killing pikemen, guys. Why? How is a unit like that killing pikemen? It's a counter to archers. It's on a horse. It's got 75 HP, and it's killing pikemen. Only has bloodlines as an upgrade. Pikemen, though, didn't have any upgrades, so maybe that's a small part of that. And Hera wants to drop a castle here. Take care of the docks. And... oh, God. Ah! Hera has definitely made some stuff here. Oh, he just lost the castle to the fire. Hera. Ripped to the stone. And now he's just going to buy this. Ah! Oh, my God. He's throwing, man. He's throwing. Holy crap. Now, he didn't lose the stone there. But what was he thinking, man? Just sitting out here. Eventually, a demo was going to show up. And Hera has lost a castle and 20 villagers over the last 30 seconds. I mean, Bro could make trebuchets. Bro still has dock to make navy. There's still a chance for Bro. Dang, man. Another demo. Bam. God, I love demos on this map. This is awesome. This is some sick stuff. Demo v2 demos, worth it. Sorry, pikemen. Bad times for you. Okay, so now Treb's on the way. Hera's going to make chakram throwers, it feels like. I think that if you're Bro, you should continue to make navy. I think, like, both players could benefit from going for galleons instead of the whole fireship demo thing. But I can understand in both situations why you might just continue with fireship demo. Because you don't have to get the ranged upgrades and you don't have to babysit the units there quite as much. Hera's fully saturated in the gold in the middle. So it feels like there's no way he should lose this game. But there is still gold for Bro at home. And he is the initiative right now. And he's Byzantines, which has the faster working fires. And also, like we've mentioned, the higher HP castles. Also, you know, Halb's pretty good against Shrivamshas. He's going to protect his Trebs for now. And if he takes out Hera's castles, Hera won't have the chakram throwers. Now, remind me, chat. You said that Hera doesn't get fast fire? Or he doesn't get... What is it? What does he get on water with this Civ? Sorry, the Civ is new. I understand almost everything else about the Civ. Heavy demo would genuinely be insane here. And maybe even more important the way this game is going. Which is why I'm asking if he gets heavy demo. He's going to make galleys now. No fast fire or elite cannon galleon. Okay, so you can get heavy demo and you can get galleon. Wow, that's amazing. No fast fire, dry dock, or shipwreck. Okay, so, like, definitely not the best naval civ ever. But having galleon with bracer and chemistry is huge. A lot of civilizations can't say that. See what he wants to upgrade here. Hera invested a lot. And a lot of it was an overboom as well. In the Castle Age. I would love to see Hera continue to raid the sides. I mean, I say continue. He hasn't really done a lot of that. It's going to take his opponent's focus away from the middle. There is a big old force here from Hera now. And like I said, Galleon, man. I think switching into Galleon, massive demo shots there is going to be better than the fast fire choice in the long run here. Especially if you have Castle Fire to help you as well. Galleon sitting back and hitting from distance is going to be awesome. This did get cleared up. Relic number 1 going to be collected in this game, which is crazy. And Bruh still working towards fast fires. He's hoping fast fires can do it for him. He is Byzantines. Meanwhile, Hera going to get the elite Shrivamsha upgrade. I thought it was going to be Chakram. As Chakrams are actually over here. And that's a well-placed castle from Brook, because he'll defend his flank. You won't have the army to deal with that. The chakrams are going to be really hard to kill on land right now. He's actually making cataphracts. I'm wondering how cataphracts perform against the chakram. I feel like they might be pretty decent because they do melee damage and they are infantry. But the trebuchets aren't going to last too long here because of the galleons. One treb goes down. Pikeman being thrown out here just to pull Hera back towards his castle. But Hera's got trebs now. Hera's got the position. Still 50 on gold. Again, you need to control the water right now if you are bro. The longer you wait, the worse it's going to get for you. Little pikeman raid. It's not going to accomplish too much there. And Hera's just waiting. He's just waiting for units to run into the swamp region, and he's just going to use the demos against them. And there you go. Castle's halfway down right now for Bra. Still has to deal with these chakrams. The TC will fire, and then you'll have the cataphracts. But that's really unimportant. I like how Hera did it, because losing those units gives him more population space for elsewhere. But also, I just like how he is controlling the middle, and then also trying to distract on the sides at the same time. But we have heavy demos. That's a lot of demos. Hera's weakness has been demo in this game. Now, that has also been his strength. Oh, my God. That's crazy. Now, if he had a follow-up, guys, if he could have kept this castle up, how sick would that have been? He's got Shravamsha's in his base now, though. And still, you know, Hera takes losses, but Hera can always add more. He's still got that middle position. It still doesn't seem like he can lose that middle position. Shravamsha's one of the best raiding units in the game. Very cheap at this point. Especially if Hera researches his unique text. It makes all the food costs in his units cheaper. And sadly for Bruh, I think that he is going to need to look forward to another result in the final series, because this is just not going to be it here. It's felt inevitable for a while. I guess he's had his moments. He's had his fight. He's trying again now with more docks as he starts to lose these docks. I like the heavy demo choice. If you're already late to Galleon, it's probably not a good idea to try and go for it. So I really like the idea to go for fires and heavy demo. I think a lot of players would just go for a few regular demos. It's not like he doesn't have gold in the bank, but he just can't use his gold effectively. I'd like to see Hera place his next castle over here. Kind of like he did here, just in case he were to get raided. I don't think he needs it, but just in case. Because some players will try and raid your main eco. Okay, but now we have Galleon for Bro. It's going to take a long time to catch up. And honestly, as he's working on that, the Shravamshas are just going to wreck his eco. And he calls it. Hera gets a 3-0. $40 per victory. And Hera just continues to rack up the dough. For Bruh, I think he played a very solid series, but he had to have a game or two where he was out of his mind to get victories. He didn't really have that out of his mind game. This game, think about how much better it would have been for Hera had he found those buffaloes. Didn't find the buffaloes. Hera still got the result with the Gurjaras. It did definitely feel like Hera could have played with a variety of different civilizations here today, though, and still got the victory. But again, it's weird. It felt inevitable, even though the population was so close for a while. And then Hera obviously lost so much of his eco and the castle fire. So, you know, there were small moments there where there were issues for him. Okay, so if my memory serves me correctly then, going into round 5, we will have Bruh versus Dragonstar, both two at the bottom of their group with 2 points. Now, 3rd and 4th right now in the group is Barles and Yo. And so that's going to happen next. So if Yo goes 3-0, which is exactly what, that's what they want. Like, Dragonstar and Bruh want Yo to go 3-0 against Barles, because then Barles will be on 4 wins, and then it'll be a situation where if Dragonstar were to win 2-1, I believe, I have to fact check this, if he were to win 2-1 against Bruh in the final week, he would relegate Barles and keep himself alive for the next season. And then Bruh, I think as well, would go through if he were to win 2-1 or, of course, 3-0 against Dragonstar. But it all depends on what happens with Yo and Barles. Now, there's also a world where, and I had to check Yo's score, if Yo gets 3-0'd by Barles, then maybe Yo is in a weird spot as well and has to look to those results. So, yeah, just a lot of cool things. There's a lot of cool things coming up.